Joining us as we move on to our next story, and we move over to the Indo-Pacific, and Chinese authorities have said that 2 Taiwanese citizens led a smuggling operation involving a Chinese crew vessel that damaged subsea cables earlier this year. In June, a Taiwanese court sentenced the Chinese captain of a Togo-registered ship, the Hong Tai 58, to 3 years in jail after finding him guilty of intentionally damaging undersea cables off Taiwan in February. In a case that alarmed officials in Taipei, the Public Security Bureau in Weihai in China's eastern Shandong province said its investigation into the incident showed that 2 Taiwanese men were behind a multi-vessel operation that was illegally transporting frozen goods to China. The authorities' findings came after interviewing 7 Chinese crew members on the Hong Tai. China has previously accused Taiwan of manipulating possible Chinese involvement in the case, saying it was making claims before the facts were clear. The Weihai Public Security Bureau issued a bounty of up to $35,500 for information or assistance regarding the Taiwanese suspects, with the surnames Qian and Qian, adding that they have been on a Chinese Customs Office wanted list since 2014. Dr. Satoru Nagao joins us now to discuss this further. Dr. Nagao, apologies. Beijing now claims that 2 Taiwanese citizens led this operation. How credible is that assertion from the Chinese government?
Credible or not is not so important because nationality is not a matter in this case. At least several ships has identified to cut the cable, and one of the ship is a crew as 7 Chinese, but the owner of this smuggling group is 2 Taiwanese. China is claiming. This means that there is a possibility that China is using the 2 Taiwanese to cut the cable, we can say. So that's why anyway, cutting the cable and isolating the communication of Taiwan is a very exploitable situation for China to persuade Taiwan forcefully to join China. So that's why this situation is a threat of the security in this region. So how to prevent the cutting the cable is a matter. So in this case, the Taiwanese or not is not so important, because if the Chinese finds the agent of Taiwanese agent to cutting the cable, in this case, the on surface nationality is Taiwanese, but the reality is their agent, China's agent. So that's why in this case, China want to say the Taiwanese overestimates the situation, overemphasize China's brutality, but the reality is China is really planning to cut the cable to isolate Taiwan. So that is the reality, I think. Thank you.
Yeah, and how much of this case is about facts on the seabed, and how much is it about shaping public perception in China, Taiwan, and internationally in the region as well?
In this case, China said only one incident is February, but in another case is January, another cutting the cable situation has happened. And so repeatedly it has happened indeed several times per year. But because of the cable itself is located to the seabed, how big damage has happened is that it is not easy to identify. When the internet has cutting or damaging, in this case they can identify. But without this, it looks like this is normal, even if some damage has happened. So repeatedly cutting has happening the cable around Taiwan. And sometimes the Taiwan side identified this as damaged. But indeed, there's a high possibility that more fluently, more often China is try to cutting the cable. Success or not is matter, but they try to do. It is clear that because of the at least some has already damaged, and Taiwan identified.
Yes, Dr. Nagao, thank you very much for joining us. It's always a